Damn, I guess I should make a video at some point or something. It's been a while since I've talked about good old Payday 3. Last time I did was the Jacket Character Pack, which feels like it was about 2 decades ago at this point, and since then, I've missed out on talking about 2.5 pieces of content. I mean, that's like 4 years worth of Halo Infinite updates. Since the Roostum graced our screens, we've had 2 heists, a handful of new weapons, and a new game mode of sorts. So let's take a look at it.
Sorry for party rocking.
Potty Powder was Payday 3's first heist of 2025, and technically the second heist of year 2, because it works like that. In it, the gang finds themselves tasked by Shayu to
Earn some money?
take back her coke, which has been seized by the NYPD. The twist? The cops are believed to be corrupt, working for the Palatucci crime family, the same organisation who had a significant stake in First World Bank when we raided it. That's right, boys, we're going against the Mafia. One of the most iconic criminal organisations of all time, and also one of my personal autism-inflicted interests. This could be awesome. The Payday gang fighting the mob, that has all kinds of potential for... Anyway, let's talk the heist itself. Potty Powder is set around a trio of industrial warehouses, where our objective is to break in, steal back Shayu's coke, and get the heck out. It's a pretty simple objective, but to be honest, I kinda dig it. Payday is at its best when it's essentially a heisting sim, with some over-the-top elements. Things like the Qatari era of Payday 2 led to some of the least enjoyable heists in the franchise to me, as it became less of a heisting game and more of a superhero game if anything. So Payday 3's return to more typical crime capers is very much appealing to me. Less appealing, sadly, is the general setting. So far, Payday 3 has had a pretty good batting average for varied and interesting locales, especially during Bad Apple. Banks, nightclubs, a police station, a courthouse, the stock exchange, a tech firm, the New York Diamond District, which I visited by the way. They've all done a good job of feeling very distinct and unique whilst retaining that Payday feel. Even heists I'm not hugely fond of, like Fear and Greed, excel with their setting and vibe. Meanwhile, Potty Powder probably has the most boring setting in the game. A train yard with some warehouses. The police vehicles dotted around the place do serve to give it some much needed colour and pop, but it's not quite enough for me. It all ties back to Potty Powder ultimately being fun, but forgettable. Probably the most forgettable Payday 3 heist. Stealing coke, drilling into buildings, finding keycards, it's all been done before. Even the optional meth cooking, which I find to be quite a fun system, you can get from the free Cook-Off remake, whilst Potty Powder costs money. But the heist was not the extent of the content. No. This update also included the Justicar, a powerful handheld shotgun that can send your enemies off to meet Paul, albeit with less amusing ragdolls than its Payday 2 counterpart. This weapon was included for free and was a lot of fun. Also included was the new drone delivery mechanic, and understated update that, in my opinion, actually makes overkills usable. Sociopath opened my eyes to how enjoyable an overkill can be if you don't have to trek halfway across Kathmandu to collect it, and the drone delivery made it so that any overkill weapon will be delivered at the location you called it in from. A big upgrade that has actually seen me using the Argus and Mamba far more than I ever had previously. It also kind of makes Cook-Off a joke, since it's way easier to stockpile Arctic Foxes to 2-tap dozers, and I managed to get all my bag collection reward finally. Yippee! It wasn't fucking worth it. Hey though, I feel like I'm missing something. Like there was something else that this update should have done. I don't know, maybe it was something fashion related, or... Oh, yeah! Techie!
We cannot trust technology!
Ah, damn. You know, my advice doesn't come easily, Starbreeze. It's really disrespectful to just ignore it. Can you at least take her shoes off? Pretty please? Anyway, I guess Armor 2.0 was kinda cool too. Yes, the long-awaited revamp to the armor system, joining the likes of progression and UI in things that Payday 3 buggered up and now needs to fix. And, you know, it's pretty neat overall. Armor 2.0 strips out the original system and provides you with new, customizable plates, providing you with a lot more flexibility to achieve what you want, attaching armor plates to your frame. Alongside this, a new type of plate was introduced, alongside resistant and adaptive plates which were based on the old armors. The impact plate is, well, it's Payday 2 armor. Very low damage reduction and easy to break, but it will always restore fully after a few seconds. What I like most about this system is that it isn't just for developers scrambling to do what Payday 2 did again in an attempt to save the game. It's looking forward and trying new things. A lot of Payday 3's launch issues came from misguided ambition and innovation, and I was worried for a time that this would scare them away from innovation and they would just scramble to replicate what the predecessor did again. So it was real heartwarming to see that they're still taking risks and trying new things, and in the case of Armor 2.0, that completely paid off, providing a more flexible, customizable and fun system than even Payday 2. It's good stuff. So that's Party Powder. Ironically, the headlining event was probably the worst part of it. The heist itself is fine, but very bland and forgettable, but everything else in the update ranges from good to really great. It's hard to say exactly where I'd place it, but the delivery drone, Just a Car, and Armor 2.0 really bring it up. If Party Powder released like Delivery Charge did, it would be a pretty mediocre update overall, but all these other additions saved it. But I'm getting ahead of myself, because we've got one more update between now and Delivery Charge, and this one was to come just 1 month later.
Stay sharp, and this will all go according to plan.
Hey, you know the old sex joke?
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
Size doesn't matter, it's how you use it. I still don't get what that means, but the Smash and Grab update is the epitome of it, to be honest. On the surface, it doesn't add much, but it proves to be a very fun, small update that does everything it sets out to do very well. As you may guess from the title, the focal point of this update was the Smash and Grab heist system, a new game mode that focuses on quick, bite-sized heists that you can get in and out of in 10 to 15 minutes. The update included 2 such heists, Bank Withdrawal, based on No Rest for the Wicked, and Search and Seizure, based on Boys in Play. When I first heard of this update, I'll admit I was a bit skeptical. I was under the impression that these would just be cut down versions of the heists they're based on, but this is not actually the case, especially with Search and Seizure. The best way I can describe it is that they're like what Ukrainian Job was to Jewellery Store in Payday 2, using the same map, or part of the same map, whilst introducing new objectives that allow it to stand out, and the short link gives them a real pick-up-and-play nature that can be very fun to blast through. Smash and Grabs are intended for new players, but even as someone with holy fuck, I find them very fun, and the payout in both cash and infamy is actually pretty solid for the time invested. I do hope we get more of these later on down the line. They're a really fun little side mode if you just want some quick bite-sized Payday content, and they have some enjoyable unique mechanics to boost, like stripping the cars, which hasn't appeared in any full heist yet. If we can get more of these going forward, I feel like they'd be a really neat way to prop up the game's content, and give it some fun little time wasters in between the larger content drops. Also introduced in this update was the Spearfish. Yeah, it's a friggin' musket. Another very fun weapon to play around with, thanks to its gimmick of a far faster firing speed when hip firing and a slower, more sniper-esque design when aiming down sights. That was pretty much it for the update, but it was a very nice little summer bonus for what it was. To be honest, I wish we got more updates like this, free and fairly frequent smatterings of small but fun content. I certainly hope the Smash and Grab idea sticks around going into Year 3. Good update. But hey, it was just holding down the fort while we waited to get to the big boy. And boy would it hit hard. In more ways than one. Now, the delivery charge update The final update for Year 2 of the game is simultaneously the best and the worst update of the year. So how'd they manage that? Well, first off, it is quite possibly the most content-dry update of the year. Outside of the central heist, nothing was added save for an update to the HUD where secured loot is now shown with a little jingle. A very nice addition that makes securing our ill-gotten gains far more satisfying, but I mean, it isn't much. If you didn't pay for party powder, you got the drone delivery, just a car, and armor 2.0. So the best parts of that update. Smash and Grab and First World Bank were entirely free. Even the jacket update gave you the new overskill system. Here, the delivery charge heist is the only thing you get at. So that begs the question, is it worth it? Let me work it. Put my thing down, flip it in reverse. To me, yeah, the hype is real. This heist is really quite good. An open, expansive affair with plenty of fun details and mechanics. This heist is the first to really make pre-planning feel relevant, with favours that can affect how you play the heist, and a lot of fun RNG sprinkled in that reminds me of some of the best that Payday 2 had to offer. Delivery Charge's big claim to fame is the pre-planning. Previously, Payday 3 pre-planning has been a bit, let's be diplomatic and say shit. Very static, often uninteresting favours that add very little to the heist and worse still are unlocked through a roll of the dice after beating any heist. Not a particularly great system. Delivery Charge aimed to change that by, first of all, letting you purchase all the favours through the store, and second, by actually making them cool. It goes a long way, you know. Some favours, like Road Rage Redux and Refrigerated Tech, introduce mechanics from past heists that spice up the run. Funnily enough, that makes Refrigerated Tech in particular just an objectively better version of 99 boxes, since you get the cool loot degradation mechanic without, you know, the rest of 99 boxes. There's also Full Lot, which gives you more potential loot to grab with the trade-off of having more beefed up security and stealth and faster police response time in Loud, leading to dozers and cloakers arriving very quickly. This might actually be my favourite new pre-planning favour. I really like the idea of them actually having upsides and drawbacks, which, much like Armor 2.0, is something Payday 2 never really did. It's another chance to evolve the system that I really appreciate. Then there's the boat start. It's fine. Probably quite useful in stealth specifically, but it's not very exciting and is probably the worst of the new favours. That's the thing though. This heist is incredibly stealth focused. It was clearly designed with a sort of Shadow Raid 2 in mind. I mean, look at this friggin' spawn point. The Gensec depot was very fun to navigate in stealth, darting around guards and finding keycards to open up more sections of the map. It feels very free-flowing, similar to what made Diamond District so great, but with more of a stealth focus, and there are loads of really cute little details, like garbage bags softening your fall, and the guard talking over the intercom.
Okay, fuck this. I'm on Blood TV with my fucking hands up. I'm not starting my fucking cell. You fucking stupid bitch. This stupid fucking justice, all fucking righteous fucking
And the little rubber duckies strewn about the place. It's a really expertly crafted heist with strong atmosphere and purposeful design that does allow you to get a bit creative with things. If you were paying attention to the party powder segment, and to be honest I don't blame you if you weren't with how much I waffle about nothing, then you'd know that I'm a bit iffy on warehouse environments as a setting. And yeah, I do wish that such a great heist perhaps had a slightly more striking locale, but Delivery Charge does the warehouse shtick right in my opinion. Thanks to all those little details I just mentioned a moment ago, it doesn't just feel like robbing a lifeless drug den. Hell, the more I think about it, that heist could really have benefited from us going up against Palatucci soldiers. Could have added a bit more life to it, like what with Delivery Charge has with its heavy Gensec presence. Oh, yeah, this is the first in a long time that Gensec has been relevant. Their men have appeared in most every heist, even when it doesn't make much sense, but I don't think we've really seen them take a primary role in anything since Alesso heist? Is it that far back? I guess they're arguably a major presence in Road Rage. Either way, it's nice to see them again in a major capacity. So, all in all, I think Delivery Charge is a really good heist. Definitely top tier, top 3, maybe even the best. I'll need to think about it a little more. But the sheer variety, sandboxy nature, and sense of player control makes this one of the most fun heisting fantasies in the game and the franchise. But the update kinda sucks though. As a wise man once said, if Party Powder released like Delivery Charge did, it would be a pretty mediocre update overall. Yeah, Delivery Charge really has nothing to offer besides a heist, so if you're not willing to shell out £6 or don't have friends to play it with, what do you get aside from the loot secure indicator? Fantastic DLC, but a mediocre update, which is a shame honestly, because Payday 3 has really built up a reputation for having a great variety of free content in each update, even for DLC releases. Still, not a bad thing to cap off the year, all things considered. So what's next? As of time of writing and recording, it is October 2025. As far as Payday 3 goes, I'd hazard to say that things are looking about as bright as they could be. We've got some fresh faces, ones who've already talked a big game about their plans, and we already have one huge update to look forward to. Skills 2.0, which has some meticulous documentation that in and of itself I find to be cause for optimism. This is the first blog post of Year 3, and we already have an extremely transparent and in-depth discussion of what they aim to do. I think Skills 2.0 looks really promising, and could genuinely spice up build varieties here. They're also removing Edge, Grit and Rush. It does seem like a lot of work is going to need to be done though, including major rebalancing and perhaps even reworking other systems to go with it, like difficulty and weapons. I would be fine waiting for a while for this, as long as they keep us updated, maybe throw in a couple of smash and grab updates in the meantime in order for Skills 2.0 to be as good an update as it can be. You know, people go on and on about each update's potential to bring in new players and save the game and totally 100% bring it back from the dead this time, for real these guys, and all of that. And I get that Starbreeze wants and probably needs that, but to be honest, I really don't think that should matter. I tend to stay out of the community. I stick to myself, play solo most of the time, and just enjoy the game for what it is. The most important thing to me is that an update is fun, functional, and makes the game objectively better. It's why I kind of disagree with my old points in the jacket video. You don't need to be so over or so back. Just enjoy the game if you enjoy it, and don't enjoy it if you don't. If you're waiting for a game that you don't enjoy to get good, then you're just wasting your time and causing yourself a lot of undue stress over it. It's not worth it. A good update is a good update at the end of the day. That's what I hope from Skills 2.0, and that's what I feel like a lot of Year 2 was. None of it saves the game, none of it makes it the top game of the year all years forever. They've just been pretty good fun updates, you know? Everything that we've gotten this year has been decent at worst. I mean, the Party Powder heist is the worst part, and it's still pretty good, all things considered. I just wish that Year 2 had more. More communication, more content, more exploration of a really good story concept, just more of everything. I really do hope Year 3 will be better. As I said, Skills 2.0 looks very fun, and the Dragon Files ARG has hinted towards this not being the last we've seen of the Palatucci's, so who knows, maybe we can still get that exciting storyline I'm angling for. Well, either way, that's pretty much all I've got to say for now. Cheers! No, for God's sake, Techie.
Take your clothes off. When I roll